especially people that are sitting near the cameras, please be quiet or don't say anything. David, could you do roll call, please?
Maureen Debeguer.
I'm here.
Ruth Reese.
Here.
David Fornes.
Here.
John Gregg.
I'm here.
John Hess. Bobby Levin.
Here.
Joyce Reese.
Here.
Fausto Fabro.
Here.
Jerry Sutowski. Joanne Robinson.
Here.
David Boas. Here. Patricia Caputo.
Here.
Kelly Jensen. Stuart Richland.
Here.
Dominic Garnagia.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I know you've all read the minutes. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
No, I have one change.
Well, hold on, we're gonna make a motion in a second, and then we'll discuss any changes to the minutes, if that's okay.
With the Somerset flagpole, is there?
I don't know how that flagpole got there. I don't know if it was WPRF put it in or if a resident put it in, but it states here that it was put up by a Somerset resident who would maintain the flag. That's a guess on my part, because we weren't taking care of it. For years, somebody else was flying the flag.
Okay.
We have somebody in the back that has an answer, possibly?
I'm in Somerset, and
Excuse me, I need a second on the minutes before we can discuss it. John Gregg seconds the minutes. Now we can have a discussion. Thank you.
Okay, I live in Somerset. I've been coming down since 1983, my parents. That flag has always been there with the light, so that how would a resident put in the light? There's a light that faces the flag. How would a resident have put that in?
I don't know. I don't have the answer.
We're thinking there is a flag at the Hastings Clubhouse, there's a flag at the main clubhouse, so maybe it was put up because of the tennis courts.
Again, I would be guessing. I didn't start here until 1987, so it could have, I don't have that answer. I've been looking for the answer. I've been asking around.
Yes, John?
As far as the lights go, the American flag doesn't have to have lights on it anymore, and it can hang in the rain.
We're talking about the minutes, John.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
All
I just wanted to put that in there.
right. Are there any corrections to the minutes? David?
Yes. A correction to the minutes by David Bose, by a mistake made by David Bose. I'm surprised none of my colleagues or other people didn't catch this. On the motion made by David Furness and seconded by Bobby Levin about removing the flagpole, I reported the vote was 6 in favor and 5 against. The actual vote was 6 for and 6 against. So the motion did not carry. I will add that to the minutes.
Please
of
make
the
that
next
correction,
meeting.
David.
Yes, I shall. And I
Thank you.
blame only myself. If there's a question, here is the original voting sheet that anybody is free to look at. I apologize again, but I know a lot of people think, but even I don't walk on water.
Surprise. Oh, John. What a revelation.
Thank you.
I'm not done.
So the minutes will be accepted as corrected. Anything else? do you want to discuss anything else on the flagpole, or should we just go on with our agenda?
Well, yeah, we have only 2 items, and we want to get these items
Okay,
dispensed with so that we can then move on with the budget. So we want to get all this cleared out first.
okay.
So Dan wants to talk about the pool at the medical building.
Is there any discussion on the flagpole?
You want to get the
Yes.
flag out of the way?
Yes, let's do that. Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
I've been a resident of Somerset for 12 years, yearly resident. Before that, 8 years as seasonal. Anytime I noticed that flag was deteriorating, I spoke to maintenance, and maintenance gladly said, we will replace it. Within about 2 to 3 days, there was a brand new flag put up from maintenance, from
Okay.
WPRF.
okay.
There's no reason why that flag should be taken down, use it as an easement, for lack of a better word that I'm not sure of. It's been there for so many years, I say it should stay there as an American. Don't like what I say,
With the
come to me face to
corrections,
face.
with the correction that was made to the minutes, the vote was even, so the flagpole is not coming down.
I wasn't even an issue.
Right.
It's, okay, Sandy?
Said it was one person.
The flag is our national country's flag. We should treat it with respect. How many Gold Star families live in Century Village? Respect that.
David?
was it an issue?
If I could, I'm Dave Furness. I made the motion, and let me try to explain. First, I'll say I believe now that I am mistaken in my motion and in voting for it. But you know, we've been doing a lot with budgeting, and we're trying to keep costs down. And my misunderstanding was that there wasn't a light on it; it had to be electrified. And there was a concern that once we did it at one pool, we'd have to do it at all. And I respect the flag. I'm patriotic. I love this country. It was thinking, since we've been doing so much budgeting about all the expenses that are coming up and how much it's going to impact our people, and I voted based on the cost. Now, I value every one of your opinions. I feel that being on the committee, I need to listen to people, I need to consider them, and when you folks want to have something, even though there is a cost, then it's good that you come out and you make your opinion known. I apologize that I didn't take our Fausto's recommendation at the meeting that we step back and look into it a little more before we voted. We should have. It put it on me, so I guess, you know, I apologize, I'm sorry. I love the flag. My grandparents were Gold Star parents. One of my uncles died in the war, and I've got a brother who is no longer with us, a younger brother, because of some issues when he was a serviceman. But so yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, that's all I can leave it. I respect your opinion and understand.
Thank you.
Is there any more discussion? Yes, ma'am.
I have one other question regarding Somerset Pool. A week ago, there was somebody around the pool measuring the tennis courts, measuring everything. What is that about? We were just curious because we stay in Somerset.
I don't know why they'd be measuring the tennis
They
courts.
were measuring the tennis courts, they were measuring the length of the pool, they were measuring under the awning, they were measuring the spot between the pool and Somerset H. Everywhere they were measuring.
Somerset H?
Between the pool and the grass, between the pool and Somerset H, they were even, the grass, there used to be a bocce ball years ago.
Yes.
They were measuring everywhere around the pool area, around the whole Somerset area.
Somebody else asked for someone to do that, but we did not. I have no idea what that's about.
Because we asked them and they wouldn't tell us what it was.
Donald?
I don't have a clue, but I'm getting better at asking questions at people. Pam, What day did this happen, do you
Oh,
know?
God, it was about 10 days ago. I really don't remember the
So it
date.
was in the weekday during the week?
Yes, yes.
Okay, can you describe the people? Did they look like workers? Were they young? Were they old?
They were middle-aged, men, 2 men. I don't know, remember
Were
what
they in work clothes? Were they in
They were in
office?
regular clothes. They were in slacks and a shirt.
Could
Okay.
it be anything
Right.
with insurance?
I don't know. They wouldn't answer us. We asked. They wouldn't, you know. That's why I said, let
I
me
got you,
ask.
Sandy, hold on.
All right, that's all I got. I didn't pull anything out of that, but
Sandy,
There's another point that nobody knows about. This Sunday is Gold Star Mother's Day. The military had it proclaimed in 1936. It's not a holiday, but they have Mother's Day for the women who gave us the sons and daughters that are in the military. And you're going to take that away from them?
no, Sandy,
Yeah,
so,
it's Mother's Day.
all right, guys, I just wanna kind of keep you guys a little bit more on track. Sandy, if you don't mind. It's been established that there actually was no decision made at the last meeting because of a miscount. So the flag is not coming down, that's been determined, and while we all appreciate your expressions of patriotism, which I join in with, we really need to get back to the business of this meeting. The flagpole issue is now moot. The flagpole stays. All right, the details will be worked.
There's one gentleman back there that has his hand up, he'd like to speak.
Well, I live in Somerset B, right across from the pool, but I got another question about that pool. You know, I lived there 9 years and I work. So I come home in the evening, I always swim in the evening. And then out of nowhere, I've never heard a good explanation why I've been stopped from swimming in that pool in the evening. That's the only time I can. That's
Okay.
the reason I bought in Somerset.
County says that we open from sunrise to sunset. We don't have proper lighting out there. We'd have to improve the lighting, and then yes, you could swim later than sunset.
So you're saying Palm Beach County?
Yes, and it's always been on the signs about sunrise and sunset, but, and I understand many people work, and then they don't have a chance to swim earlier, they get home, they have their dinner, then they want to swim, but that's gonna be an issue for down the road, possibly improving lighting at the pool so that people can swim later. Money has to be made available, so that's why insurance dictated that we had to abide by county dictates.
yes, ma'am, go
Is
ahead.
it every pool in
Yes.
Century Village?
No, not at,
The private pools, were the same rules.
lighting has been improved at Hastings and at the guest and resident pools. But the satellite pools, no.
So are there any plans on improving our lighting?
Not at this time. It's a matter of priority. Sometimes we have a lot of things that are just very old and we need to get to them. So then other things will rise to the top as we get other things done.
Did we have like the county come down and say this is an issue? Because for how many years has that pool been open? My husband came 20 years ago, he used to swim after work.
Well, I think you would agree that insurance companies are looking a lot more closely at things. Okay, and now they're making all kinds of demands. You have to have a new roof after 10 years, or you let it go for 20, or so insurance is really tightening up. And that was one of the things that came out of an insurance meeting.
I just, last comment I want to make about the flagpole. UCO and WPRF and Eva, Donald and myself have spoken. The flagpole will remain and it will be, we'll share the maintenance of it, whatever we have to do. It will not go down. Okay. Can we go back to the agenda? Monica, please.
We talk about, want to go through the reports now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, the first report we're looking at is a statement of operations. This is for the 9 months ended July 31. During the month, we had $549,000 in revenue, $452,000 in total expenses, so we have a profit for the month of $97,000. Year-to-date, our total income is $5,064,000. Our total expenses to date have been $5,189,000, which brings us to a loss of $125,000. For the 9 months, we had actually budgeted a loss of $592,000, so that means we're looking at a positive surplus year-to-date of $467,000. If you look down the right-hand column, your expenses, you'll see that every single line item but one is under budget for the 9 months. And your revenue, your social activities, we have a surplus of $43,000 in income. We're under budget, however, on miscellaneous income and ID income. Also over budget $14,000 on interest income. So that's a positive variance of $467,000. Quite a bit of that will go the other way next month because in August we made our final payment on the roof for the clubhouse. So that's one of the reasons for the very large positive variance on maintenance and repairs at $259,000. At the bottom is your social activity summary. Our theater income for the month was $4,000. For your theater, dances, and movies, we spent $7,195, so we have a loss for the month of $3,229. For the 9 months for your theater and dances, the income was $269,000. Your total expenses for theater, dances, and movies is $295,000, which brings us a loss of $26,000 year-to-date. We had budgeted a $75,000 loss, so this is a positive variance of $49,000. Any questions?
I'm glad we're at the 90,000 like we were last year.
Yes, sir. The next report is your cash balances. As of the end of July, your total operating funds were $814,000. Your windstorm reserves totaled $861,000, and your contingency and infrastructure improvement reserves totaled $271,000. So your total reserved funds in place, $1,132,000, and total cash on hand, $1,945,000. Third report is your social activity summaries, and this is for August. During the month of August, we had 706 people that attended your theater performances. Our gross sales were $4,587. After reducing that gross sales for audience fee cost and sales tax, our net sales are $3,828. We paid $5,350 to the performers, so we have a loss of $1,521. Your Friday night dances, 479 people attended the dances. We paid $1,790 to the DJs. And as far as your movies are concerned, 331 people attended the movies during the month, for which we paid $1,284. So between your theater, dances, and movies, we're looking at a loss for the month of August of $4,595.
Well,
Yes, sir.
I got a question. If he used the excuse of $50 being a problem at the flagpole, he should be suggesting to get rid of the movies and dances.
There's going to be no more discussion on the flagpole. It's done. It's a done issue, please.
Any other questions? Okay. Third report is your estoppel income. This is also through August. Year to date, for the 10 months, There's been 420 units sold in this community, and we collected $89,770 in estoppel income. When you compare that to the same period in the prior year, there were 566 units sold in this community, so it's a decrease of 146 units, or 26%, less this year than the prior year. We've actually collected $30,000 less in revenue this year than the prior year due to the decrease in the number of units sold. And I say this every month lately, but that's typical of what we're seeing in all of our communities. Yeah. The final report I have for you today is the revenue collected from guests. This is also through the month of August. Year to date, our box office sales to residents are $196,000. Box office sales to guests are $56,000. Total box office sales $252,000. That translates to 17,339 tickets sold to residents versus 3,980 tickets sold to guests, and total tickets sold 21,319. Obviously, advanced season sales began in August, so we have a huge uptick in the number of tickets sold at the box office during the month of August. Included in those guest tickets sold, the 3,980 tickets sold to guests, we earned $11,940 from the $3 extra that guests paid per theater ticket purchased. Guest passes that have been sold in the ID office year to date amount to $33,196. Guest passes sold at the staff office, another $10,969. So total revenue generated from guests to date, $56,105.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
How can there be a difference between the first column and the second column?
I don't understand.
How did we go from 78% to 81% guest tickets, residents tickets sold? How did we gain 3% and lose 3% on the guest?
This is a percentage year to date of the total.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the very first column is nothing but the
The actual,
percentage of.
okay.
Yeah. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Our ticket sales are up this past month, and they have been almost the whole since.
Oh, sure, but that's because of advanced season started during August.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
Right, so it's significantly up. You see, in July, we only sold 3,171 tickets. In August, we sold over 41,000.
Yeah.
So your advanced season ticket sales are looking pretty good. Mhm. They're actually higher even than your total sales were last November,
Yeah,
the
that's what I
beginning
was
of
looking at.
season, so that's a positive thing. Oh, I'm sorry, yes, sir.
Yes, with regard to the dances, you quoted $1,700. Is that per Friday night? Or is that?
No, sir,
That's for the whole month.
that's for the entire month. We had 5 Friday night dances during the month of August. And the DJs range in price from $310 to $400. They're different prices. So the total that was paid for those 5 dances was $1,790.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's 5 dances instead of, usually we have 4 per month.
Right.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's an extra, Joyce, it's an extra Friday that you got on the calendar.
I guess, Dan, you're up next.
Good afternoon. I just have really update on the lift station, which is under permitting right now for the back of the clubhouse.
Walk into the mic, please.
I have, I'm updating you on the permit that we, for the lift station. We're still waiting for the county to approve that permit. hopefully we'll get that, some comments back within a week so that we can respond to them and hopefully get it within a couple weeks after that. The only other thing that I have here is, it was brought to my attention, but Don has cleared this up so far that I know of, on the pool that's going in across from, by the medical building, okay? There was inquiry about that they might be putting a new tube going through the geo tube or a drainage outlet. Don has pretty much cleared that up with me, that they're using existing, so they're not going to penetrate, and I'll let him explain since he's been more involved in that on that portion of it.
Sure. Hi, Dan. All right, so as you know, the owners of the medical building are in the process of installing 2 swimming pools on the back and side of the building. There's been some delays in the project. One of them caused by the county has required them to put in an additional storm drain catch basin. And from Dan and I's first look at the plans, it appeared that they were going to put in an additional outfall pipe into Lake Century, which would require them to cross through WPRF property and the geotube into the lake. That's why I alerted Dan to this. The managing owner of the medical building has assured me that that's not the case. The plan is to tie the new storm drain catch basin into our existing storm drain pipe, which is nearby. It's approximately along the property line of Somerset A. So if that's the case, then there's no issue. Basically, UCO has to give them permission to tie into our line, and I can't imagine why we would not. But we will keep an eye on it. This is verbal, so
Donald?
I'll be done in a minute. We are keeping an eye on it. I've done physical inspection of the property. I don't see anything that leads us to believe that what the explanation was is not the case. But we will keep an eye on the property, and I always keep Dan updated. Yes, Joyce?
I was under the impression that they were only building 1 pool. Right.
Originally, the plan was for 2 swimming pools, one square-shaped and one almost like a lap pool shape.
Right.
They made a change to the plans, and now it's 1 rectangular-shaped pool and 1 therapy pool, big hot tub. So that was a delay. So that's what you got now. You got a big hot tub and a swimming pool. And that's what they're building. Yes, ma'am.
What is the name of they?
Oh, I'm so sorry. The owners of the medical building, the corporate name is Khal Hasidim WPB, Khal. It means temple or synagogue or congregation. That's the owners of it, and then there is a nonprofit entity called Khal Hasidim of West Palm Beach, which is a religious entity, and that's who is building the pools.
I thought that when all of that was coming to be,
Yes.
that they said, we're not going to take away your pharmacy, we're not going to...
Well, they haven't taken away the pharmacy. The tenant, who was the pharmacist, which is Walgreens, made a decision not to renew the lease and moved out. That was Walgreens made that decision. They didn't throw them out. Let's put it that way. I convey what I hear from these owners, and I'm happy to, and I'm told I can. I'm told that they have been negotiating with a number of potential pharmacy tenants, but nothing's come of it yet. So, that's the landlord business. You get tenants, you lose tenants. We all want to see a pharmacy back there. It was beyond convenient for all of us. Okay? Thank you, everyone.
That's it for me.
That's
Do you
it.
have any questions?
We have a question.
Donald, this question.
Yes, yeah, ma'am.
Mr. Foster, this is
Hello.
regarding the Laquanza.
Could you stand up again?
Yes,
Go ahead, and I'll repeat what I hear.
yes.
Go ahead.
The Laquanza.
La Quinta.
Well, that's three different.
Oh, please. All right, so,
It was auctioned supposedly yesterday.
It's kind of not the business of this committee, but since this is a community meeting,
Yes.
if it's okay, Fausto.
Absolutely, yes.
I'll give you guys a quick rundown, okay?
Thank you.
Especially since it was me that put this out into the community and unleashed the hounds, so to speak.
Yes, you did.
Here's what's going on. The county facilities acquisition department, the part of the county that buys property, went to the commissioners and asked for permission to negotiate to buy that motel. Why did they do this? Because the governor signed a law recently making it illegal for homeless people to live in public parks, for instance, and the counties are now scrambling to find places to put, unfortunately, unhomed people. So they gave them permission basically to bid in that auction. The property is going for auction. The auction's happening as we speak. It's a 3-day virtual auction. That's as far as it goes. They have permission to bid. Now, if nobody bids more than them, no other company, no other entity, then they would have to go back to the county commission and figure out where the money's coming from, because there is no money in the county budget to buy this motel. So they're gonna have to show the commissioners where the money's coming from, and I believe they're looking at some kind of federal program or something of that nature. If and when that happens, that will be as a community's opportunity to get down there and sound off. And I already talked to Fausto about this. If that day comes, there'll be buses, and we'll all be on. Now, there has been a lot of feedback on this, as you can imagine. Whatever comes Yuko's way, we're sending to the commissioners so that they understand our feelings about this. And there's also some kind of grassroots petition going around. And I understand it has well more than 100 signatures by now. So there is opposition to this, obviously. We want to be careful of what we say about the opposition, because we don't want to appear or be, say things that aren't nice to other people. But I wanted everybody to know about this, because I kind of know how you all feel about it, and I feel the same. We will keep you guys updated. All right? And I think it's 50-50 that this is as far as it'll go.
And it started yesterday, correct, the auction?
The auction started yesterday, it ends tomorrow, and I think our treasurer is keeping tabs on it, and will be able to tell us what I don't think you'll know immediately. It's not like a real auction when I say sold to the man in the flowered shirt. But when we find out, we'll let everybody know.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I know this guy.
Just have a question. How do you think this is going to affect the construction on the golf course? Do you think they're going to be building homes there? $450,000 when they put up a homeless hotel?
You're asking me personally? Do I think it'll have any effect on that project? No, I don't think it'll have any effect at all.
What was his question? What was his question?
His question was, do you think that if that became a homeless shelter over there, would Coulter stop building on Reflection Bay? Personally, no, I don't think so. It's really more of an effect on us. It's right outside our gates, right? Now, from a county planning perspective, I kind of get why they picked that motel out of all the disused hotels in all of Palm Beach County. It's right on top of 2 major bus lines. It's right next door to a public health clinic, but it's also right on our gates, so, and it abuts our property. So, I think we all have something to say about it. Just have to keep an eye.
Thanks, sir.
Is there any old business? Any old business? Is there any new business that needs to come before the operation? Yes, sir. David?
I have a question for Dan under old business. Have we gotten a projected date for the start of the Somerset, not Somerset, Southampton schools?
I was just recently told by next week we would have that survey finally that the county is looking for, so it will be sometime next month, but I can't tell you exactly what day.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have some concern about building security. The doors opposite the dance room don't line up properly, are left unlocked all the time. I'm constantly going to the security people and telling them that they need to be changed, fixed, whatever. 4 people came in yesterday, and I had to go to security and inform them that 4 people had come in, even though there were 3 guards sitting there at the desk with their monitors. This is not a time to let our security go lax.
Is that the exterior doors?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're talking, the ones where the
Yes.
buses stop.
The bus doors.
They're not working for a long time.
Well, the issue is when they push on the bar, they don't push the bar all the way in.
Yeah,
So that pin that drops down,
right,
it doesn't retract,
right.
but they, it comes up a little bit. So then they push through the door, they exit the door, but then it doesn't close completely because now that pin is still down and it hits the metal threshold that's there. So, you know, I do it all the time too whenever I see it. And security needs to definitely keep an eye on that, and I will let them know that. I've been told, we've discussed this, and I don't know, I've been told the doors would not.
I don't know.
It's been years.
We'll definitely look into it, and
Yeah.
we'll get somebody out there, okay, take a look at it from the outside.
Also, the bus drivers or the manager of SAME prop the doors open so that they don't have to go through security. And I think it's interesting that the payors, who, you know, we have to go through security, we have to show our ID, but everybody else can just come and go as they please, and they're employees here.
I'll fix that real quick.
Thank you.
Hold on, go ahead.
I do have to defend the security. Just the other day, one of the young ladies, Elizabeth, she actually followed someone in here because a resident let another person in here without an ID. So depending who's up front there, will do their job and does it. There's also a security camera inside and outside by that door because residents do it and the bus drivers. We are aware of it, we try to fix it. Every single time Stanley Door comes out here, it's over $100 just for them to come out here for a penny. We try, we do what we can, we'll look into it some more. It's one of those ongoing problems.
It's a constant issue.
We'll bring it to Omar's attention at the next transportation meeting to make sure that his bus, whoever it is, people are not to let anybody work through that door.
They need to be respectful of what we're trying to do here.
Your chair's right here, she's making notes. She's making notes.
At one time, they never did come, they never came in the bus door, the drivers, back when I used to work. They always came in the front door. Very seldom did they ever.
But at one time, we did have ushers at both doors, especially on a Friday or a Saturday night when it was.
No, I meant during regular.
No, but I'm talking on nights that there were events. They did have a security guard at both doors to make sure that there was somebody there that didn't come in that didn't have an ID with them or a ticket.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if that's still in place, but sometimes we come on a Friday night, there's nobody there.
Well, when the dance and the show were on Saturday night, it benefited both.
Yeah, I know.
The dance and the theater had to be separated.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
As long as we're talking about the dances and the open doors, I don't understand why everyone can't come through the central doors. We lose so much air conditioning, and the dance room gets hotter than Hades. It's just walk to the central door and come in that way.
I noticed that.
Yes, Peter.
On certain nights when there's activities here, I see people going out and letting people in on that door.
Yeah.
Because they just got a way to get in here, but they have to get some kind of a pass to participate in the dances and other activities. So they bypass that by leaving that door open and they greet them and they have to come in.
Thanks, Peter. They do have camera there, but Eva will bring this up to her security staff to keep an eye on. Donald?
From my monitoring of the village scuttlebutt, I can tell you what we're all talking about here is the old version of the movie theater trick. Some of us are letting the side door open to let our friends in so they don't have to pay the guest fee. And it's kind of silly, but what is it, $3?
Yes. It's
Well-
$3. Well, this is why people are upset, and I get complaints all the time. They have to show their ID to the security guards coming in, but we also make them show their IDs before they can enter the theater and the party room, because we know about people sneaking other people in. And this is how we catch them.
So let's not be babies.
They don't get it, they don't get it.
Any other new, yes?
For Patricia,
Yes.
do the bus drivers do a pre-trip inspection before they take the buses out during the day?
Well,
Go to the meeting next week.
they are supposed to inspect it before the buses come on the property. If there's a specific problem, please put it in writing, give it to me, and I'll make sure they get it.
Okay.
Is that it?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
As long as we're on the subject of the buses, can we be sure that they have been trained properly? I see them stop in the middle of the street with no flashing lights. I see them make turns without turn signals.
Yes.
I saw one whip through really quickly around a corner, which kind of surprised me. He's the bus
Okay,
driver.
do me a favor, put it in writing. I have brought that up at my meetings. My meeting is the first Tuesday of every month. Usually the general managers are there. I will bring it up again, but it's always best in writing, because then they can't say they didn't get that complaint. But yes, they are retraining some of their people. 1 or 2 are on suspension, so we're very aware of it and we're taking care of it. Does that answer your question? Whoever is raising the hand.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a way to make that form available online? Because, you know, if you see it happening and you don't have the form,
No, it's here, it's here and it's at Yuko office. It's always here at Yuko.
And also, ma'am, a simple email to yukomaintenance@gmail.com will have the same effect. I'll make sure that Patricia gets any email you send.
Or you can send it directly to me, Vice
But who,
President.
what, where, and when is important.
Yeah, always put the date, the time, and exactly what's going on, so they have been, and the bus number, right? They have, a number of people say they have been calling them back. They, meaning the general managers. So if you want action, put it in writing and it'll get done. Thank you. Anything else? No? Okay.
Anything else on the new business? All right, good of the order. Anything? There's nothing, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second that.
All right, motion by John Gregg, seconded by Maureen Debegier. Have a wonderful day, Michael.